Hey Angel, this is the weekly reading. We're gonna get started with the dice, and I didn't even put the dice out. Hang on one second. Here they go. Here they go. Here they go. Remember that the red one has one side that is now blank because I burned it off with Coca-Cola acid accidentally. All right, so we're starting with no, dirty movie, party. This must be the blank side. Yep. Blank. And living room again. Spirit says, I'm on top, which I always feel is like a card of winning, success, you know, and maybe rising from the ashes. Could be about ascension too. Bedroom, or could be something having to do with bedroom. Like, could be literal. I don't know. Weekend away, especially if you're getting away. Hotel or something like that, you know, these are adults. Also email, and buy shoes. So maybe you need an event to buy shoes for an event that you're going to, maybe going to a wedding or something over the weekend. I'm gonna do this week's reading a little different. I have 3 tarot decks here. I'm still gonna use the one for the collective overall main, but I'm also going to use, like, peek at an additional card from this one and from this one for, this one will be for, like, people in separation to see if the energy is any different than the collective overall. And then this one will be for people who are single. But I won't, like, go into detail about all of them. I'll still focus mainly on the collective. We're just going to see some other stuff, because I've been seeing some other stuff. And hearing all kinds of stuff. It's like there's a DJ in my head, and sometimes it's often like as soon as I wake up, like I open my eyes and there's already music playing in my head. It's crazy. Isn't this beautiful energy though? Just to start off with already, the Sun versus the Four of Wands. And since this is the Sun, Major Arcana card 19, there were a couple of things I wanted to talk about. The number 19 just reminded me. So one of the songs is this song, "Let No Man Put Asunder." And it comes from the Old Testament, or the Bible, or the Torah. I guess even it might even be in the Quran, because they all pretty much start the same, the Abrahamic religions. You know, for those of you who are unaware, because a lot of people tend to be, Muslims believe in Abraham and his children as well. You know, not just Jews and Christians, which is why they're all fighting over the same land and stuff, and holy land, because they all believe in the same thing. Just man has gotten in the way. And speaking of man getting in the way, that's what the song is about. Let no man tear asunder. So, Matthew. Is it Matthew or Mark? Okay, one of the ones with the M, either Matthew or Mark, 19:6, verse 19:6, and the other one with the M, so either Matthew or Mark, 10:9. So there's both 19s. That's what I was saying. The 19 reminded me. In the Bible is that verse about what two souls God has joined together, let no man tear asunder. So those of you who've been watching me for a long time, Empress, we're getting this with the Knight of Pentacles. Something or someone very slowly approaching the Empress with an offer, some sort of action they want to take, and making her even more abundant that they already, than she already is. This is how they view her too. And the Empress, there's only one Empress in the entire deck, so that makes her more special to me than the Queens, similar to the High Priestess. Anyway, the Bible, the Torah, let no man tear asunder. So it says I was going to say, those of you who are unaware, I'm a licensed and ordained pastor. I can practice any religious rites from any religion, basically. I guess particularly those with which I'm familiar, in any U.S. territory. So any state, Puerto Rico, Guam, the U.S. Virgin Islands, I can marry you over there, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I know a lot of the, and with that, between that and just the way my life has been, the course of my life, how you, true Queen of Swords, traditional tarot, the Queen of Swords is somebody who's been like learning these things that she's going to need at some point, all her life, and sort of like saving them, like this tidbits of information. And that's been very true for me. Overall energy here now is the world in reverse. Just want you to take note of the star, because the star comes up in this conversation too. So this is how I'm familiar with, you know, the verses in the Bible and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, it says what two souls, not what two people, what two souls God has joined together, let no man tear asunder. So that verse, whether in the book of Matthew or the book of Mark rather. Look, this is still such beautiful energy that's coming out while I'm shuffling. 3 of Cups opposite the star. Somebody's celebrating, you know, getting some wish fulfillment maybe. And here's another Empress. That verse was shown to me a couple years back. I talked about it on this channel a couple years back. And it was shown to me as one of the verses having to do with, you know, soulmates, twin flames, you know, divine counterparts. That the 3D is things like, you know, they get in the way, like belief systems like, oh, well, you're married, so you can't. Like, you're married to a man or woman, you know, you're married to a human being. The verse says what two souls God has brought together, not what two human beings, not what two people. So if you're not married to the person with whom your soul is joined, God has joined your soul, then you're married to the one person. That's just an example, because the verse is about marriage. Or people use it that way. So it was shown to me as an example of things that we need to get over in the 3D, as, you know, people, as human beings, as people on the 3D plane dimension, versus the 5D one, where it is all about souls. So the song, Let No Man Tear Asunder, is about, it's about that verse, but it's also about a couple in separation. So, or the man is leaving. Wheel of Fortune is what I'm starting with here. So something that's destined, something that's fated, some sort of major change, maybe some luck, because it's the planet Jupiter that this card is about. So positive change. Could be about timing, like divine timing, something happening right on time. It's opposite the Tower in reverse. So something crumbling, but, you know, and changing majorly. But maybe at the same time, even though it's majorly, maybe it's also somewhat subtle that, you know, you're affected, your life is impacted, but it's not, your life doesn't crumble because of whatever the change is. Anyway, so the woman, she starts out the song, I'm surprised to see your suitcase out the door. Remember the good times, don't you want some more? And she starts going into their relationship. It's not a perfect love, but I defend it because I believe it's what God intended. So she wants to be with this man, with this person, because she believes that that's with whom her soul is joined, that God planned it. And they have a love. She says, we have a love that's too good to throw away. So even though he's leaving, the masculine, and separation is happening, right? He's initiating separation because maybe he's hesitant to move forward with her. Hasn't yet awakened. She says, it's not over between you and me. The union, they're still in union, according to her. It's not over between you and me. I don't want to be free. What has been joined by God, let no man tear asunder. So that means, like, including us, right? Including me, including you. Let no man tear asunder. So she's not going to allow it. If she has anything to do with it, she's not going to allow it. She'll go into solitude if she has to, and understand that he has split energy, and he's a little bit over here, a little bit over there, and he's got some stuff to figure out. And, you know, it's a loss in the meantime. They're not together, but if he's unawakened, he's unawakened, and, you know, he has to be at some point awakened to the hidden path. In the meantime, he's shutting her out. Maybe he'll be back in winter, like White Cuff John said. I'll be gone to November. Anyway, transformation. Speaking of November, Scorpios, transformation. So that was one of the songs. And at the end of the song, so she talks about, like I said, about how they shouldn't be apart, you know, or she's not going to allow them to be permanently apart. She's going to allow him to go ahead and go into separation, not going to stop him, but they're still together as far as she's concerned, because they have been joined by God, let no man tear asunder. And at the end, the reason why I said the star also comes into the story is she goes into this, she starts talking rather than singing, and she says, they call me an Aquarius. What that means is that no man in the world can let go of this Aquarius. And like you see, I got something here that you don't ever want to turn down. I got something for your mind, your body, and your soul every day of your life. So when I was hearing that part in my head, I thought about the star card in the tarot. The star card in the tarot represents the sign of Aquarius, and it is about wish fulfillment. And then I realized, another 19, that on 8/11, we have not only Venus entering Leo, which I think is going to be an interesting transit and a fiery one, but we have the Aquarius full moon happening. So for me personally, I was thinking about, I mean, I'm an Aquarius moon, so technically I'm an Aquarius. Especially if I was doing Vedic astrology, I'd be paying more attention to my moon sign than my sun sign, and so I would be saying, you know, I'm an Aquarius. But for other Aquarians, and maybe for the collective in general, since it's an Aquarius moon, so we're all going to get this energy. Between that and the 19s, I just feel like 8/11 may be a more important day throughout the Lion's Gate than even 8/8 potentially. You know, not that there's a competition which day is going to be, you know, better or stronger. But what's happening that does piss me off is that people who aren't really informed, people who are ill-informed about spirituality, our community is oversaturated with these people being teachers. So they're all going on and on about the Lionsgate portal as if it's only one day long. They don't really know what it is, obviously. Well, it's not one day long. It's a period of time around this time of year when the star Sirius, which I believe is also the North Star that's referred to in the Bible, to go back to the Bible, and it's one of the reasons why I believe Jesus was born in August or September and is a Virgo, as opposed to winter, Christmas, and being a Capricorn. So also called the Dog Star. It's the brightest star in the sky. And there's a transit every year around this time of year where it rises, and you can see it pretty much with the naked eye. It is not one day, and it doesn't happen on 8/8 precisely every year. I mean, that wouldn't even make sense when you're talking about celestial transits. But the way that people have been ill-informed, misinformed, somewhat purposely, some, you know, intentionally, somewhat by accident, just by people who want to make money, but they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They've created this thing as if it's one day, but it's going to be a period. And I didn't look up to see what the full period is this year, but I think 8/11, because we will be in the Lion's Gate, and Venus enters Leo, and it's the Aquarius full moon, will be a major manifestation day, and maybe particularly for love, because Venus is, of course, the goddess and money. Venus is, of course, the god and planet, goddess and planet of both love and money, or of abundance. So if you've been trying to manifest those things, definitely think it's a good time. And specifically for people who consider themselves divine counterparts, soulmates, twin flames, even more so, I think. And then maybe on top of that, especially if you are an Aquarius or have a major Aquarius transit, maybe sun, moon, rising, possibly Venus, or if you're a Leo, right? Because the sun is still in Leo and will still be in Leo, and Venus enters Leo that day. So that maybe that if you're a Leo also, sun, moon, or rising, which I'm that also. I'm a Leo rising. I'm both in both astrologies, Vedic and Western. I'm a Leo rising, so that's interesting too for me. as an individual and part of this collective. Did I show you the overall energy for the Twin Flame Oracle is stuck? Stuck. Block, third party, silence, barrier. Shift your focus to clear the energy. And this is what has to happen. The masculine in particular, but maybe some of the feminine too, have to change their perception, their perspective in order to get unstuck, right? Looking at something differently will show you how to, veer your way out of whatever the situation is that you feel is like inhibiting for you. Red flags, delusion, perspective. See through your own false beliefs. Like your false belief that something like a 3D marriage is binding above what has been joined by God. Okay, I think that's the major belief that is trying to come through right now based on the songs, like I said, that I've seen, and the timing, the 19s, and the transits that are occurring. Overall energy here, I really need to hear from you. I don't like being in the dark about what's going on in your life. Oh, so the other songs, is, so many. So one has been Let's Get Married by, who was that by? I want to say Jodeci, knowing that that's absolutely wrong. Jagged Edge, that's who it is. So Let's Get Married, which is pretty straightforward. Okay, but even that song too, I've talked about it when I see like the Page of Wands in reverse, because the Page of Wands in reverse can often be somebody, like an actual person in your life who wants to, not just for love, but it could be the case of many things, somebody who wants to pick up where they left off, like they left something unfinished. So it reminds me of the line in that song where it's like, can you think about us finishing something we started so long ago? I never knew we'd make it this far. Can you think about what would we do? When I think about what would I do if we were to just fall apart, I can't stand the thought of being without you, or something like that. So there's that one. Bended Knee, which also sounds like it's going to be a song about marriage, but really it's about separation and like, can we get back together? Oh goodness, Bended Knee. How does that one go? I can't think. I'm having like a block, but it's been playing in my head all week, so it's crazy. I'm down on Bended Knee. How does something so perfect? Goodness. Can we go back to the days our love was strong? Can you tell me how a perfect love goes wrong? Can somebody tell me how to get things back the way they used to be? God, give me a reason. So here's this thing with God again too, which I think is significant. And I know that not everybody believes in God or the same God or whatever, but I just think it's significant. I mean, we're all talking about divine counterparts, so whatever you believe in, maybe several gods or something, or, ascended masters or whatever. God, give me a reason. Source, the one, the universe, whatever you believe in. I'm down on Bended Knee. He says, like, I don't know where we lost our way. It's driving me insane. I know I just need one more chance to prove my love to you. If you come back to me, I guarantee I'll never let you down. So, and he says, I'm going to swallow my pride. The blame is on me. I want a new life. I want it with you. If you feel the same, don't ever let it go. You got to believe in the spirit of love. It will heal all things. It won't hurt anymore. Don't ever believe our love is terminal, like it can end. I'm down on my knees begging you, please come home. So, maybe in that case, the divine feminine walked away. And it's the masculine that's saying, come back. I guess potentially he also could have been the one to walk away, but he's, just maybe afraid to approach, or hoping that she'll approach him, or that she at least won't reject him if he steps forward instead, because, he said the blame is on me, and I'm putting my pride aside. Like, he knows it was his pride that got in the way. He knows that, he caused whatever the issue was between you. So basically, will you forgive him? So that was that. And the last one is this, that's Boyz II Men. And the last one is this song by this woman, Alicia Myers. I think the first song, Let No Man Tear Asunder, I think that song is by a group called First Choice. First Choice, I think is the name of the group. But yeah, this woman, Alicia Myers, she made the last song. It is I Want to Thank You. It's a song, I Want to Thank You, God. So I hadn't realized that until I'm sitting here talking it through with you guys, that God was part of all these songs. Even Let's Get Married. I mean, there's a whole rap verse by Reverend Run of Run Run DMC after he had become a reverend. And he even, one of the lines is something like, you've changed my life. Now they call you the preacher's wife. I'm the kind of guy that'll take you out and buy that ring with the rock that'll break your arm, because the diamond's going to be so heavy. So yeah, God again. But anyway, this one is, I want to thank you, Heavenly Father, for shining your light on me. It's been a long time since I had someone like to really love me, and I owe my thanks to thee. I know it wouldn't have happened without you. So for what those are worth, those are the songs, those are the messages that we're starting with. And if I see the star, I'm gonna again take that to be significant in connection, not just in general that it's wish fulfillment, but in connection to these dates and the number 19 and God and these songs and all of that. So this first deck here with the world in reverse as the overall energy, which I guess is a good one for the collective. It is card number 21, which equals 3. Could be something that involves some sort of third-party situation. This will be the one for the collective. Then we have this next deck that has the 3 of Cups as the overall energy. This one, again, will represent people who are in separation. Of course, the 3 of Cups is often a card of reunion. So this can be getting back together. I'm begging you, please come home. All right, here's the communication, reaching out. 8 and 3 equals 11, by the way. And then this one I said, I'll flip over a card just for singles in general. And behind the Knight of Cups here with the Sun in reverse. And another 8 of Wands. We just saw the 8 of Wands in the other deck. So this is why I wanted to do this, because I just wanted to see if it was like the same energies would come up or similar energies would come up for everybody. But yeah, this is our main one. So the card that will most directly represent the collective this week is the 8 of Cups in reverse. And I think 8 is very much about August, and I've been saying this, I said it last month too, for July. I said July, August, I just feel like something's happening, like Leo season. I've been talking about Leo season. Anyway, 8 of Cups in reverse. Oh, and this is the deck that has the 2 moons together, the full moon and the new moon. So maybe we'll talk about that a little bit. Surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers. The 3 of Pentacles, also in reverse. I hope they're not all in reverse, though. Even though reverse doesn't necessarily mean anything bad, like people tend to say it does, but still. This one's in reverse, too. Work and finance, 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Somebody may be leaving their job or something. Transferring, moving, quitting, retiring, I don't know. Love and relationship. Hot damn. The King of Cups. Very nice for the placement of love and relationship. That's for sure. Physical health. 10 of Swords in reverse. Maybe somebody recovering from some sort of surgery or something. And spiritual health, the 5 of Swords in reverse. Or somebody recovering from, like, fighting and conflict and betrayal, maybe emotional upheaval, overthinking that caused them stress. A few things. All right, we'll get to that in a second. So that is for the collective, and then just to peek at some cards. So for those who are in separation, again, the overall energy is the 3 of Cups upright, and then this would be the King of Cups would be the card that most directly represents you. So it is one of the same energies that's popping up here, but it's in this placement instead of this one. King of Cups, possibly an actual person, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Very balanced emotions, masculine and feminine within, also balanced, not afraid to share his feelings and to be upright with them and clear about them and clear about what he wants. So maybe you could actually have somebody saying, can we go back to the days our love was strong, right? You know, I'm expressing myself to you that I would like to heal our union. I don't know what happened, but maybe we can figure it out together and fix it. King of Cups. Surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers. We have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. They have the Eight of Cups upright, which is also another one of the energies that's showing up here for the collective. I just had this feeling that this was going to be the case, and this is why I wanted to do this. Work and finance, Tower in reverse. So again, there's a major change. Maybe you leave your job, like I said, or you get transferred, promoted, but you cease to hold on to the same old situation. Maybe you change careers completely. For career paths or something. Tower in reverse. Love and relationship. The High Priestess. This can be somebody is being secretive, somebody is not speaking to you. Could be a sign that you are in separation, because the High Priestess is very quiet about things. You know, real G's move in silence, as I always say about her. And she is in fact a Gemini, or perhaps a water sign. Which is where the G comes from. The G comes from. She's also very intuitive, very psychic, so she can, and very attractive. In the placement of love and relationship, she's super attractive, especially when she's upright. She's super attractive, and very spiritual. So it could be a signal of, you know, divinity in terms of the relationship and the connection. Again, what God has joined together, as opposed to what two people and their genitals, you know, decided to do, or lust or whatever. If she's going to make a move, whether she is the masculine or the feminine, because it could be either way, or male or female, she's not going to announce it. She's just going to make a move. So this could be somebody who just pops up on you when you least expect, like, we're in separation, what are you doing here? You know, like that. Boom. Or all of a sudden they call you haven't spoken to this person in forever, or text you or email, whatever it is. Physical health. The Four of Pentacles in reverse. I cannot make this stuff up. You saw me shuffle. I couldn't have planned this if I tried. I promise. You know, in my 3D human form. But yeah, the same energies are popping up. That was physical health. So we got one more for this group. And 5 of Swords in reverse for the collective. 9 of Pentacles in reverse for the spiritual energy for those in separation. Interesting. For the full-on singles, like single. Your overall energy is the Knight of Cups. So again, somebody could be approaching you, maybe a fire sign, maybe specifically a Sagittarius, or perhaps specifically a Leo, because Leo's ruled by the sun. You know, but in the tarot, the card represents the sign of Sagittarius. Maybe you will get communication, something will get moving in your social and or romantic life, perhaps, or in your relationships. All right. So the card most representing the singles, it's the Moon in reverse. So we're still starting out with, oh, and look at this. It's the same kind of moon. It's the same kind of moon. It's like a full moon with a crescent moon inside of it, just like in this 8 of Cups card. And both are in reverse. Isn't that crazy? In your surrounding energy singles, we have the 3 of Pentacles. You have a completely different card in that placement. You do have Major Arcana card number 8, which is Strength, Leo. Represents the sign of Leo. In any placement in your life, I mean, this is a very positive card. So you could meet somebody, you know, who will be very, you know, strong supporter of yours. You could have a lot of people and just a lot of energies around you, because it is the placement of, you know, surrounding energy. That's just, everything you're trying to do is supported by the universe, basically, this week. Work and finance. We have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. You have the Eight of Pentacles upright. Love and relationship. You have the High Priestess, like the people in Separation did. Isn't that interesting? And another crescent moon in the picture. We have a laptop too, so some kind of communication maybe again, joining that Eight of Wands that you guys had. Maybe again something starts moving where nothing was happening before. Maybe because of your work, maybe you meet somebody involved in your work or through your work, or something that you're, some kind of project, something you're invested in, a hobby of yours that requires your time. You meet somebody through that. But again, when she makes a move, she does it quietly. She may just make a decision about what she's going to do, and she's not going to tell everybody because that messes up the energy. Like people that are jealous of you and stuff will purposely try to ruin whatever it is you have going or planned, and the High Priestess is aware of that. So like I've talked before about, sometimes I'll share stuff with you, like from my private life, if I'm guided to, and then sometimes I'm absolutely not guided, like I'm specifically guided not to. The High Priestess will show up, and it's like, keep your mouth closed. You know what I mean? So stuff like that. Physical health. Chariot. Very nice. Again, more movement. Something, again, maybe that wasn't happening with your health, maybe that you weren't getting answers, something starts going. And you got a tower in reverse, similar to the people in Separation, but I think theirs was somewhere, theirs was in work, right? And yours is here in spiritual health. So that was interesting. Well, at least interesting to me. I hope you guys found it interesting too. All right, so starting with our overall energy of the world in reverse, again, as a reminder, just pointing out the Two of Swords is immediately behind it, so we could have a decision to make about whatever this energy is that we're feeling with the world. And then Strength is in reverse, is also behind that, as is Justice. So we may be feeling like, we're just not up to... There's a lot of stuff, that we should be proud of, and there's a lot of potential around us, but we just maybe feel stuck anyway, and not really sure how to get unstuck. But there's something ahead for us, a new beginning that's going to be really emotionally fulfilling, and it is something for which we are destined. There's actually two tens back to back here. There's the Ten of Wands upright. So putting down this burden, which I think may be just, wanting to make an offer and not knowing how to do it in itself could be the burden. Laying that burden down and finally, realizing that it's destined and it's going to play out, and the universe jumps in to assist us. All right, and so that's how we are able to reach this new beginning here. Ace of Cups. But the world in reverse, it can mean, like I said, that there's a lot of potential and like promise for us and just out there in general, but we feel stuck anyway. So it's like a really good time to review how well we do at asking for help, asking for support. Maybe that's why we keep seeing the Strength card, because it's about support when we need it, not just being lazy and asking other people to live your life for you, but like when we need support, can we put our pride aside and ask for it? Because we just don't have to do everything on our own, right? We don't have to. So the world can also be like a card of completion. It demonstrates that we've worked really hard on something. And when I say worked hard on something, it's not necessarily like, okay, I'm going to do this project and it's done. It could be like a phase of our life that we didn't really realize was a something at the time, because we were living, right? That's not how life works. You don't say like, oh, I'm in the middle of a cycle. Like, but you're in the middle of a cycle nonetheless, and it's coming to an end. You're at the finish line. That's what the world can be about too. But you may feel like quitting with it here in reverse. And so the idea is, don't quit. And again, that may be because you can't figure out how to get unstuck. Not a mistake that stuck is that card that's on top the Twin Flame Oracle after shuffling too. It's our overall energy for the Twin Flame Oracle. And again, I said how to get unstuck is by changing your perspective. So that's what we need to do in relation to this world. And again, as a 3, major arcana card number 21 equals 3, it probably has something to do with some sort of third energy or third party situation, not necessarily a love triangle, but something involving another energy that was a situation that was a distraction from, focusing on yourself and or, a love interest, a mate, or your relationship with them or lack thereof. Excuse me. You're almost definitely in need of some rest too. So this may be tied to that 10 of Wands that was also upright. It's like much needed and deserved rest and relaxation, and so you shouldn't be afraid to take it if that comes up. But you're getting closer to not only to the end of the cycle and not only to the finish line, the virtual finish line, but to who you really are and or are meant to be, like at the deepest levels. So if you aren't seeing this progress, like externally yourself, when the world appears in reverse, then you should try to figure out where you're stuck. Like, well, then why? Why am I not seeing it? Because I know what the world in reverse means now. So why am I not seeing those things? Where exactly am I stuck? And what can I do? Like, what's standing in my way? What can I do to clear it? Change your perspective again. Look at those things differently and you'll figure it out. So that's our overall energy. Moving on to the 8 of Cups in reverse. So the 8 of Cups in reverse can mean that we're thinking about leaving a situation, perhaps a relationship, that seems as if it's no longer working. It could be the job too, right? Thinking about leaving the job. It's just no longer working for us. With the card in reverse, it particularly points to a need to stop and think about that. The fact that you want to leave whatever this situation is a little longer. Because you may not have given it like enough time yet. So I want to be clear that if we're talking about a relationship, or we're talking about divine counterparts, so some sort of soulmate or twin flame relationship, and I'm saying to you, you're thinking about leaving a relationship, for some of you that could mean you're thinking about leaving a 3D relationship, and you need to think about that a little longer. And then for some of you, it could mean that you're thinking about leaving, excuse me, I don't know what's going on all of a sudden. I'm sure there's a message in that too, so maybe I'll figure it out. Like something doesn't want me to talk. You're thinking about leaving the divine path that you're on. And maybe that's why you're conflicted here, the 5 of Swords. So you're thinking about leaving the divine counterpart. Like, I don't know how this soulmate thing or how this twin flame thing is going to work. Like, there's so many problems, or there's been so many problems between us. We've put so much energy into this already. It's been so long. I don't know how it's going to work. So I'm thinking about leaving that. Because you could make a free will choice to do that, too. We've talked about that before. So I just want you guys to be aware that if you're trying to figure out how it resonates or whether or not it resonates with you, yes, it could be about a 3D relationship. And yes, it could be about, a divine counterpart as well that you're thinking about leaving. If it's not some other situation like a job or something. So the universe is saying you may need to think about this a little longer. And I talked about before, with these 2 moons in this picture, how when, I think 2 weeks ago I was talking about this, like when the masculine walked away, I felt that it was him, that had walked away from the connection at that time, whatever I was talking about. And I said that he realizes now like he shouldn't have. Like this moon confused the hell out of him at the time, like the moon tends to do. Even major arcana card, the moon tends to be about like confusion and illusion and stuff like that. So he walked away and then realized that he shouldn't have. So you could be in that type of situation again, like feeling like maybe I should, but maybe you shouldn't, and maybe you should give it more time to think, especially since again there is a full moon this week on the 11th that could guide you to do the wrong thing if you feel you're getting some sort of guidance to make a choice, and that's not necessarily the choice. That's not to stop anyone from making choices that they want to make. That's not what I'm trying to say or do. I'm just saying the card suggests that we think again before we make a move. It doesn't say don't make a move. It just says make sure you're sure. It's also a card that says, yes, you could be going through, like, you know, struggle, turmoil, pain, whatever, difficult time, maybe separation, you're split, so you're upset, you're emotionally just upside down, you're not, you know, well. Because I know when I separated from my masculine, you know, just times in general, no specific time, but actually one specific time, I was so sick, like so physically sick, that I didn't know what I was going to do with myself. So it could be like that. Like you're just so emotionally like turned upside down. And I'm a Gemini, so that's very weird. I mean, that's very not us to be that emotional, but it wasn't something that I had any control of one way or another. It was like, because also it had to do with how psychic and stuff I am too, like empathic. So I could literally feel like a punch to the stomach, like, you know, and like pain to my chest. It was really a difficult time. Anyway, so some of us may be going through stuff like that, and maybe that's why the physical health is the Ten of Swords in reverse. Like, you know, you're just really in a place of emotional and mental like breakdown. See, in the middle of that, it may be easier said than done, but the idea with the card is to, you know, remind ourselves that the good times, you know, lie ahead. Now, yes, if your gut is telling you that you really need to get out of a relationship or a job or a living arrangement, you know, whatever kind of situation, then you should trust yourself. But again, think long and hard first. It's sort of like a look before you leap type of thing. And it's specific to love and relationships. But again, we could be thinking about ending like a long-term relationship if we're in one, which may be a 3D relationship or a 5D relationship. You know, or both. In some cases, it's both. Like the person you're in a 3D relationship is also the divine counterpart. So just again, think about it. Make sure you're sure that that's what you want to do. Or perhaps, you know, if you can hold yourself, wait till next week and see if you still feel the same after the full moon. You know what I mean? Or after some of the transits. You still may end up leaving, but, you know, at least you do so when you know that you're calm and sure and clear-headed, you know, and not confused. If you're single and looking, then this card can point to like a time to begin to get engaged with the world, you know, like get out there, put yourself out there, basically. Don't just stay home feeling lonely. Go make some, you know, new friends and stuff like that and make yourself feel better. Right, spiritually and physically. Surrounding energy, close friends, family members, co-workers, something going on down with the job, all that kind of stuff. Three of Pentacles reverse is generally a positive card, particularly with regard to work and career, you know, questions or inquiries. But it also has comes with like a warning that this is not the time to allow yourself to like slack off, right? Or bullshit. So work is probably very much like a focus right now when this card shows up. If not for you directly, then, you know, your family, somebody surrounding you, some sort of, you know, surrounding situation. It's important to like give your best to whatever the situation. So even if it's not an actual work situation for you, even if it's something having to do again with one of your other connections, particularly 7th house connections, again, like BFF, some sort of family member, love interest, mate, spouse, whatever. You got to put your best into whatever it is you're trying to work. So even, again, the 5D relationship, this is a time to try to focus on how can you work together? How can you collaborate? And if you do, then you're likely to find yourself, you know, with great success on whatever it is you're trying to achieve. Specific to love, it's still a good omen if you're, you know, looking to increase your family, maybe have a baby, become pregnant. A lot of families, you know, sometimes intentionally trying to do that. then this is a time when fertility can be higher than usual. If you're not intentionally trying to do that, then you may want to take some sort of precautions this week. If you're single and looking, this is a good time, again, to meet people, particularly through work, as I was just talking about. So maybe that's what's going on in your surrounding energy. You do have to be careful, not just with people with whom you work, but in general, with the Three of Pentacles in reverse with regard to love, not to allow yourself to become like overly like subservient, or to behave as if you are like less than other person, like they're more valuable than you, because that can sometimes happen with this card. And if you're meeting people, like the potential love interests or partners that you're meeting, and you're doing that, it's going to be a turnoff, actually. You know, they're not going to like it. So watch it. You got to hold your head up high, and that they'll be sort of turned on by, impressed by. All right, I guess that's it for that one. Work and finance, Four of Pentacles in reverse. So traditional tarot, Four of Pentacles in reverse with regard to work says that you're like really overly focused with like the need for a job and, you know, money and security and stuff like that, like overly focused, like in an unhealthy and toxic way. The safety and security of your job and your work. Although it's somewhat understandable, you know, considering, you know, the global economy and situation and stuff like that. But it can actually be counterproductive to be so worried and stressed out about stuff, because that can actually affect your work adversely, negatively. You know, if you got all kinds of other things on your mind and stress, or how I'm going to pay that bill or whatever, when you're at work, then you're not necessarily doing your job properly. Specific to finances, however, the card can mean actually that you're getting over your worries. You know, you're beginning to sort of like let them go. You know, all the worry about money, like maybe you realized that worrying about money, as opposed to, you know, making it or saving it or whatever, or maybe spending it wisely, you know, isn't helping you. So, and this can make a huge difference positively in your situation if you sort of let go of the fear of money and heal your relationship with money. So those are the traditional tarot meanings. My interpretation of the Four of Pentacles, however, is about, well, similar to that, to the traditional tarot finance meaning. It's about letting go. It's about, you know, realizing that. So like when the Four of Pentacles is upright, for example, with regard to work and finance, for me, I would say like you're holding on to a job just because you get a paycheck from it and you're not emotionally fulfilled by that job. You don't love what you do. You're not happy there. Then, you know, they're not necessarily happy with you. You're just like another name or another number, and there's really no connection. It's like I just go there to get a paycheck, and there's nothing else to it. So it's something that you should probably let go, because there's something more fitting for you out there, and that may be also tied to your life purpose or spiritual path. So again, that's why I was saying that somebody could be releasing their job, changing positions, you know, maybe transferring locations, or changing even their career path or field with regard to money. Maybe changing their spending habits, letting go of the worry, you know, changing something about themselves in relation to work and or finance as well. So moving on to the King of Cups in love and relationship. So I've already talked about him a great deal. Again, he may be an actual Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. He's super balanced with regard to love questions. When this king appears, like the news is super good. Like it's very good. And there's not many cards, if there are any, that are more like loving or whatever, or romantic than the King of Cups. So if you're already in a relationship, it could be deepening, you know, the level of love and appreciation and respect and reciprocity and all that kind of stuff, improving. This way, if you're single and looking for love, then it can indicate, you know, somebody, again, very balanced in terms of their masculine and feminine energies and their emotions, you know, so very non-toxic and loving is headed your way soon. And, you know, in terms of separation, this could definitely be returning. This could definitely be deciding to come back. You know, between the Eight of Cups in reverse, who kind of looks like he's doubling back, right, as opposed to walking away, leaving like that moon and confusion behind him. And we have him here crossing the King of Cups, so it could definitely be coming back, similar to the song, Bended Knee. Here he is seated here. You could see the bends in his knees as he's sitting here, looking very regal. Right? It's very detailed there. So that's the King of Cups. Ten of Swords in reverse for physical health. You're thinking about taking some steps, you know, towards something that can improve your health situation. That can be as simple as a matter of fact, this will be our third 10, because we saw the two 10s over here, the Wheel of Fortune and the 10 of Wands. You know, we have this 10 of Swords. That could be, you know, just deciding, again, I'm going to heal a relationship, or I'm going to leave a relationship. That could improve your health, like just getting over the stress. Or I'm going to stop worrying about money, or stop worrying about my job. If, you know, that could be the steps you're taking toward improving your health. Or you maybe, some of us again are considering some sort of surgery or something that could make you feel better. Or it could be a matter of just, like I said, needing some rest and like rejuvenation, because the Eight of Cups in reverse also talks about that. But whatever this thing is, you know, it's a good idea. Maybe you're thinking about giving up some sort of addiction. 10 of Swords can be about addiction sometimes, negative or bad habit. So if you know, are in need of like some sort of healing, allow yourself to believe that you deserve to get better. You know, like you don't have to remain stuck in your situation or existence, right? Everything is temporary. You can change your existence, move to another plane of existence. And if you need help, again, and support, don't be, again, afraid or too prideful to ask for it. So, Five of Swords in reverse. It's going to take me full circle to, again, let no man tear asunder, and getting rid of like 3D, you know, not disallowing 3D belief systems and practices from standing in your way, standing in your life. So the Five of Swords in reverse can mean that you have removed yourself, or this week you'll be removing yourself from some sort of spiritual tradition from your past, maybe from the way that you were raised. Or for instance, like you finally tell your romantic partner that you know, no longer wish to like go to church with them, or to be part of their, or even your, you know, traditional like faith community. You've decided you're into something new. Like, I want to work with crystals now. I'm not going to church anymore every Sunday or whatever it is. Or again, alternative, you know, it could be something like, I've decided I used to feel like once married, I had to stay that way. Now I realize through spirituality and maybe rereading the Bible or the Torah or the Quran that it actually doesn't say stay with whoever you marry in the 3D. It says what two souls God joins together, let no man tear asunder. So I realize I don't have to remain in this sort of 3D situation anymore, and I can turn it on its head if I want to and get out of it. And that's what I'm going to do. I definitely see that for at least one somebody. So it's about this sort of just changing, and this may feel like a win for you. Like, it may really make you feel good, where you've been feeling conflicted, maybe about it, maybe overthinking it. Think about it again, like overthinking, running through your head. You know, is this okay for me to do this or whatever? Yeah, it's okay for you to do it. Your spiritual needs, you know, don't just stop or go away, and you have to fill them in the way that you feel is appropriate. You know, so look for like-minded people. Look for surrounding yourself with other people on the similar, you know, spiritual path to your own, similar vibration to your own, or higher vibration than yours, from whom you can learn something. Look at people who have, you know, share a perspective with you that's going to get you unstuck in your, you know, religious and or spiritual areas of your life, or things that are traditional and societal norms that you want to break free from. Right? Look for people, groups maybe even, who feel similar to you. And, maybe who see spirituality in the way that you do. Or maybe look for one other person. Maybe that's going to be the person, again, on whom you're, with whom you're on this divine or spiritual path, in terms of counterparts. So you both like crystals. And maybe one is a little bit more awakened or informed than the other. When one's vibration is higher than the other, but that's okay because you have a similar viewpoint, and whichever one you can learn from the other. And I'm sure even with the high vibration, there tends to be something that the person with the high vibration can learn from you too. At least in my experience, right? Because my vibration is often higher than that of people I'm dealing with. But if I can't learn anything from you, I'm not going to be around you. That's like a requirement of mine. You know what I mean? So it goes both ways. And that's what we have. But let's look into at least one of these cards for each group too. So for the collective, because we already shuffled these, again, remember our overall energy is stuck. How could you forget? I keep showing it to everybody, right? So our overall energy is stuck. So the card, should I just do the upright cards? Maybe I should do upright cards only. Maybe this one can be for everybody. What is this one? It is fall. Change is in the air. Your answers arrive in autumn, which is now. Right now through September 21st. So just after we enter, right when we enter Libra season. Just as Virgo season is ending and Libra season is beginning. That's when fall is, the fall equinox. All right, so the card for the collective, otherwise, this one, like I said, for everybody. The card for the collective with the collective focus. I was dancing to all the music that's been in my head over the past few days. Twin flames, eternal love, reincarnation, passion, twins seeking union. Boom, bow. So again, the funky cycles are ending, and we're able to sort of move toward this. And there's another new moon in this picture. New beginnings, fresh starts. I love it. All right, so for the people in separation, awakening. You're awakening, going through another period of ascension. Your partner or love interest is going through another period of ascension and awakening. Realization, progress. Your twin is awakening to your connection, realizing who you are to them, what you mean to them. Maybe they experienced something recently that triggered, a memory or a realization from a past or a past life. And they're like, you know what? We must be soulmates. We must be something, So that's great too. For singles, your card is lessons. I'm just talking about lessons, knowledge, understanding. Look for the lessons in this situation. So whatever it is you're experiencing, there's always going to be something that you can take from it with you that should be positive for you. And from this deck, and the overall energy for everybody is, I really need to hear from you. I don't like being in the dark about what is going on in your life. That was the overall energy. This isn't upright or in reverse. It's sideways. So I'll go ahead and take it for the collective. It is, I know you're sad, but I will make things right between us. This is upside down, so I'll skip it. Another sideways one. So for the people in separation, trust me, I will reach out to you soon. How appropriate is that for people in separation? And lastly, for the singles, even though you don't know them yet, you are my only love interest, and I'm here to stay. They're there to stay in your soul. Let no man tear asunder. And this one was flipped over, so I'm just going to read it because it might be something for somebody. I ghosted you because I want to keep my options open. Excuse me. I know you have feelings for me, but I'm not so sure we're a good fit. So maybe that's something, again, that somebody has to figure out before you decide. Make sure you are sure, and then make a move. High Priestess style. Move in silence. That's what I have for you this week. I didn't go over anything from any of the religions, but I kind of did, though, right? I talked about religion enough, I think, or at least the good books enough. So I'm going to end it there. I'll be back with the Aquarius full moon reading. Namaste. I lied and I'm back. I wanted to talk to you about Venus and Leo. So let's just do that and then I'll bid you adieu. So for this information, I went to www.tarot.com. Venus and Leo, generous, loving, proud. And again, the transit is from August 11th, which is the same day as the full moon in Aquarius, through September 4th. When Venus, the planet of love, money, and desire, joins up with Leo's expressive and courageous energy, it's a direct invitation to live and love out loud. Leo is the zodiac sign that rules the heart, so Venus's romantic side is extra infectious here. But Venus likes sweet and calm cooperation, so she could be taken for a wild ride with Leo the lion, who prefers things a little bit more dramatic. Because Venus is a positive planet and Leo is a positive sign, together they create an immense amount of joy. Their combined energy has the power to heal wounds from the past and to push us forward into more exciting and hopeful times. When lovely Venus enters Leo, the most expressive of all the zodiac signs, we're ready to shout our love from the rooftops. Leo is a fire sign that's all about creativity, showing off, and speaking from the heart. So this energy lights us up like a torch. Expect playful dates, loud declarations of love, and maybe even a few jealous tantrums. Big feelings will be expressed now, one way or another. No one wants to simply be liked or appreciated when Venus is in Leo. We want to be adored. I used to always tell that to my master. I absolutely adore you. I don't know why I used that word, but I did. And I told you the story last week or the week before that, about when we were in separation and I went to Atlantic City and I started hearing that song, Let My Love Adorn You. And that was one of the cues that he was returning. We actually both mutually agreed to move on though, and I have my another 19. I always had these two, both born on a 19, both heavy Scorpio and Virgo energy. So, as I mentioned, just another reminder for those of you who are going to look into your own chart. If you have not, there it goes. All right, anyway, this is the time to take risks and to make grand gestures. So those who play it safe could be left on the sidelines during this transit. This is the time you got to again, declare your love. Again, the shout it from the rooftops. Grand gesture. Clearly, love isn't calm or easygoing while Venus is in Leo. While the lion just wants to play and enjoy life, Leo is also a sign that's full of drama. And if we feel like we're not getting the attention or recognition we deserve, we may lash out at lovers who are only doing their best. So it could get sticky. During this transit, we may even start a passionate argument just to stir things up. Yeah, my ex is like that. Like, just to get to me, I think he starts stuff sometimes. Anyway, you can feel like the center of attention again is the purpose of doing that. We want to feel like, hey, remember me? Remember, there is no I in the word we, and the more we focus only on ourselves and our own needs, the more likely we're to end up with just that, only ourselves. So try not to do that. Again, this is about reciprocity, King of Cups, mutual adoration and respect and love and balanced energy. Leave the toxicity at home. Money is a means to an end while Venus is in Leo, right? So you're not all about your money. It's this. Money is a means to an end. That's it. It's nothing else. It's a tool. I don't have to become obsessed with it. All right? It's all about making yourself and the ones that you care about feel like $1 million. That's more important. Leo is an extravagant sign who appreciates glitz, glitter, and glamour. So it's natural to splurge a little bit during this transit, but pampering ourselves will only bring us a certain amount of satisfaction. Leo is a supremely generous sign, and spending money on thoughtful or even over-the-top gifts for others will also make us even happier than treating ourselves right now. It goes on to talk about what it means if you were born with your Venus in Leo, as well as gives a few traits as to what a person with this transit is like. Playful, fun, extravagant, dramatic, glamorous, courageous, big-hearted, childlike, and unrestricted. If you want to learn what it, from here, what it means to have been born with this new natal chart, again, I got it from www.tarot.com. And now I will bid you adieu. Namaste.